this is Chelsea for VETT 222 task 10, and that task is performing in-house blood work, chemistries, as well as sending out lab work to an outside lab. So we're going to go over first that we have our samples here to run in-house. So we have our lithium heparin that's been spinning for about 10 minutes, and it's properly labeled there with the patient information. So that's waiting. We have our EDTA anticoagulated blood sample here that we're going to run a CBC on. And we have our serum separator tube here that's nice and clotted. It's been sitting for half an hour, so we're going to actually spin that down, and this is going to get sent to the lab to be a T4. So I'm going to set that up there. So first thing we can do is go ahead and get that centrifuge running for the lab work to go out. So we're going to go ahead and rim that clot. Okay, loosen that up and put the lid on back nice and tight, and we're going to get a balance tube here, and they look about right, so we're going to go ahead and put them in the centrifuge here. Okay. And we're going to start that in according to our manufacturer's recommendations. I'm going to zoom in here. We're going to turn the power on. We run the blood on low. Our machine goes up to 12,000 RPMs, but we're going to stay around 4,000, so that's about a third of the distance. So that's right here. And then we're going to go ahead and spin it for about 7 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to spin it there and get that going. So the next part we're going to run here for our in-house lab work is our CBC. So I've inverted that gently 4 to 6 times. Okay, and we have our patient information in the computer already. Zoom in on that. There we have Reno. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and introduce the sample here into the probe. Push our plate, it's aspirating its sample, and take that out. We're going to store our sample here in our rocker, and our blood results will be up for that in just a second, and we'll show you. We'll record them in the chart when it's finished as well. Okay, still waiting on it. It takes about a minute. So it's doing an automated complete blood count right now, counting white blood cells, red blood cells, and all the different types. So there's our results. Okay, looks like a really normal CBC. And we're going to zoom back out. Okay, so the next machine we're going to move on to is our Heska Dry Chem. And we have our plasma sample here. It's been spun down. I'll take the lid off. We are going to use a little stick here and make sure there's no fibrin clot or anything, so we're just rimming the top, and it looks good. We'll set it in our machine. Zoom in so you can see this here. So we have our patient number put in up here, and the name. We have our sample put in the cartridge. We have our appropriate tips according to manufacturer's instructions, and we have our sample size. So what we're going to run in-house today is a limited chem and CBC, so the slides are in here. And I'm going to explain that a little bit. So our pre-surgical panel here is consists of a total protein, alk phos, glucose, GGT, and ALT, creatinine, and BUN. So that's our basic metabolic panel here. Those are our slides. They're set up in here, and we have our tips and our sample. So we're going to go ahead and hit start. And when those results print, we will go ahead and put them in the chart and come back to the video. Here for the in-house portion, and I'm going to show you that everything looks within normal limits here. So there's our CBC, and then here's our in-house chemistries. So we were checking this patient because she's been on Rimadyl chronically, and we just added a new pain control gabapentin. So everything in these values here look within normal limits as well. So we're recording that in the chart, and we will be calling the owner to let her know everything looks good. Our sample to be sent out is right here. Just finished spinning. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. And it looks like a pretty good sample there. Maybe mild hemolysis, but they can use that. So it's for a thyroid. So we're going to go ahead and come over to our table here and start prepping the paperwork. Okay, so here we are at our table, and I have my sample here that we're going to place in the IDEX lab bag. And we have our laboratory request sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that out for our patient. Okay, so you'll note on here we have the date right up here at the top. We have the patient's information here, the doctor requesting, and the test that is requested, which is the thyroid. So we're going to go ahead and separate these forms. And place the white copy into the laboratory bag with the sample. And we are going to go ahead and call IDEX, and they'll get a courier out here. But until they can get it out here, we're going to go ahead and appropriately store the sample in the refrigerator. So that was VETT 222, task number 10.